Hello students, we are going to start new chapter, structure of atom. We have learned about atoms and molecules and now we will study about structure of atom. So first of all of us know that matter is made up of atom, and the first Democritus, a very brilliant scientist, gave the word atomos, and later it is now known as atom. The word atomos means indivisible. He said that atoms cannot be divided further. Later Dalton put his theory, Dalton's atomic theory, and he also suggested that atoms cannot be divided further. They are indivisible particles and are a constituents of matter. But few questions arises in the minds of scientists. The question one is, why elements have different type of atoms? That is, different elements have different type of atoms. So this question arises in the minds of scientists. And second, they want to know if actually the atom is indivisible or it can be divided into subatomic particles. So these two questions are there and they want to know the answer. One, different elements have different type of atoms. What is the reason? What is the cause? And is atom can be divided into further subatomic particles or it is actually indivisible? The answer for this question, it comes from when static electricity is studied. By the study of electricity, these questions have some answer. What is this electricity? You have studied in lower classes. What is it? When two objects, they are rubbed with each other. You have seen when we comb hair, dry hair, then this comb become electrically charged and small paper pieces can be attracted by comb. Or the other experiment is this is a glass rod and this is rubbed by a silk cloth. Then what happened? This glass rod, it becomes positively charged and this cloth, it becomes negatively charged, and now this glass rod can attract an neutral balloon. So what is this all? It means that when this silk cloth is rubbed on glass, some of the minus negative particles, they come to the silk cloth, and now this glass rod is having positively charged particle and now it is electrically charged. It can attract some balloon or some paper, small paper parts. So it means, and these are made up of atoms, it means the atoms which are present in rod or in this cloth or in comb, they have some charged particle, electrically charged particle, and they may be positively charged or they may be negatively charged. It means atoms have some particles and these particles are subatomic particles. Those are negatively as well as positively charged. So when it is known that thought that atoms have these charges, so now the scientists, they start doing some experiments to know how these particles are present. So first of all, in around 1900, one of the most brilliant scientists, J.J. Thomson. He was a British scientist and was Nobel laureate. He got Nobel Prize for his discovery of electron. He discovered electron. How he discovered electron? He done a cathode ray tube experiment. A discharge tube filled with some gas. It is known as cathode ray tube experiment. And what did he see? He saw that some cathode rays are flowing in the tube emerging from the cathode end, and these rays, they are having some negatively charged particles, and these particles later on they are named as electrons. So Thomson, he was credited for the discovery of electrons. He discovered cathode rays, and these cathode rays have negatively charged particle, and later on these particles, they are named as electrons, negatively charged particles, and they are symbolized like this E, small e, with minus sign. Before this, in 1886, one of the scientists, E. Goldstein, he was also working on atom, and both of them, they are good friends and they are colleagues also. E. Goldstein was also a Nobel laureate. He also got Nobel Prize. And what did he do? In 1886, before this, he was also performing some experiments in the discharge tube. What he saw that with cathode rays, there are some other rays are also emerging, and these rays are having positively charged particles, and he called these rays as canal rays or anode rays. And these rays, they are having positively charged particles. So what are these positively charged particles which are coming from canal rays in the discharge tube? These positively charged particles, later on they are named as proton. So this Goldstein, he got the credit to discover proton, not in the true form of proton, but as canal rays, which are having particles, very tiny small particles having positively charged particle from these canal rays. So this is how discovery of electron and proton is done. Electron, J.J. Thomson has the credit, and for proton, E. Goldstein has the credit. Now if we want to compare some properties of these cathode rays and canal rays or electron or proton, we can have a quick look. What are these? Suppose this is electron and this is proton. These names were given later on after many years of discovery of cathode rays and canal rays. So electron, it is symbolized by small e, it is with small p. As you can see, it is having negative charge and protons are having positive charge. The charge on both of them is equal in magnitude. So both positive and negative charge in equal in magnitudes. That's why atom is neutral. It has no charge because the number of electron and proton is same. They equal in magnitude. So atom is neutral. about the mass. The mass of proton is approximately 2000 times more than the electron. It means electron has negligible mass. Negligible mass. Electron has negligible mass and proton has the mass approximately 2000 times more than the electron. The next point, we can say that protons are on the inner side or center of the atom and electrons are near periphery. Why this is so? Because electrons, they can be peeled off. They can be removed from the atom very easily. So it is thought they are near the periphery or on the outer side. And protons, they cannot be peeled off easily. So it is thought they are near the center of the atom or inside the atom. So this is few points which, and one thing more, one proton has given mass as 1 unit. The mass of one proton is given as 1 unit. If 2 protons, 2 unit, 3 protons, 3 unit, and as it is negligible, no mass has given to electron. It is very light in comparison to proton. So these are few points. This is E, P plus, negatively charged, positively charged. Magnitude of both are same as the atom is neutral. It has negligible mass. Its mass is around 1897, something like 2000, more than the electron. And these are near periphery, these are in the center, and proton has given the mass as 1 unit. So these are some of the points of electrons and protons. Now, when scientists knew about electrons and protons, that is subatomic particles are present in an atom, they want to know how these particles are arranged in the atom. What is the structure of atom? Now protons are present, these electrons are present. There must be some arrangement of proton and neutron, and both are equal. That's why the atom is neutral. So how they are arranged? This is one of the biggest question of that time. And first of all, again in 1903, same scientist, brilliant scientist, J.J. Thomson gave his model for atomic structure. Different scientists, they were working on the atomic structure, and the first of all in 1903, Thomson put forward his model for atomic structure, and his model is known as plum pudding model. Plum pudding model, or it is also known as Christmas pudding model. Why the name Christmas pudding or plum pudding model? Because according to Thomson, atom is a sphere, a solid sphere, and whole of the body of the atom, it is made up of positively charged soup or material, or somewhere it is written as positively charged C. So whole of the body of the atom, it is made up of positively charged particles. So the whole thing is positively charged. And now the electrons, where the electrons are there, these electrons are embedded in this positive soup. Like, so these are electrons. These are embedded. Now how you have the cake, this pudding or cake, whole of the material is positive, and in this cake, these dry fruits or currants, they are embedded like this. Raisins, they are embedded like this. That's why this is known as plum pudding model. We can have one more analogy with watermelon. Suppose we cut watermelon like this. So this is the red flesh, the part we eat, and this red flesh is suppose positively charged particles, and in this red flesh these black colored seeds are embedded. This is a slice of watermelon. These black seeds, they are embedded in this red flesh. So these black seeds, they are negatively charged electrons. At that time, he was not aware of electrons. He just see that negatively charged particles are there and positively charged particles are there. And we can have this analogy that this is a positively charged body or sea or soup. It is known as soup, and inside this some negatively charged particles are embedded in this. So this is known as plum pudding or Christian pudding model. Now his model was rejected afterwards. Why the model is rejected? Because it cannot explain some of the points, some of the discoveries which were done later on. So there are some merits and demerits or limitation of Thomson model. The merit, the most important merit is that he first of all suggested that atom is neutral. That is, plus and minus are equal in, plus charge, negative charge are equal in magnitude. And he was the first to propose any model or atomic model. So this is one of the important merits, that he first of all proposed any model for atom, its structure, and he suggested that atom is neutral. No electric charge is there on atom, and both positive and negative particles which are present in atom, they are of same magnitude. There is no charge. And second merit, the important one, on his atomic structure, cathode rays and canal rays can be explained. Why? Because he has given that plus minus, both negative positive charges are present in the atom, and these cathode minus or canal plus rays, they can be explained on the atomic structure of Thomson. These are few merits of his structure. Now there are some limitations or demerits. What are the limitations? After his atomic structure, the second structure of Rutherford, it was given, and on the structure of Thomson, nucleus, shells in atom, and neutrons, which were not discovered at that time, cannot be explained. So his model cannot explain the presence of nucleus, shells in the atom, and neutron in the atom. So this is one of the limitations. And second limitation we can say that the experiments done by other scientists cannot be explained on his model, on his atomic model. So these are two limitations. After his experiment, after he has given his atomic model, neutrons were discovered, shells were discovered, nucleus was discovered by Rutherford, and these things cannot be explained on his model because he has just given a sphere with positive body and negative particles embedded in it. And the second, the experiment done by Rutherford and other Bohr, they cannot be explained on his model. So this was the first model. It is the starting, a very good model, but later on it is rejected. A new model is given by Rutherford by doing a very meticulous, brilliant experiment. So we will discuss the other model given by Rutherford in the next video. This is all for today. Thank you.